If you've seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm pretty sure you've heard the actors in that show say it's all connected. For me, my biggest complaint with the MCU is that I'm just not satisfied enough with the amount of crossover between the TV division of the MCU, the movie division of the MCU. I know they've had small crossovers in the past, well, the biggest one being Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury appearing on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1 in the last two episodes. That was probably their biggest crossover between the TV and movies. But since then, I've just not been satisfied enough. That doesn't mean that DC, who does the exact opposite from Marvel, is off the hook. I'm not letting them off the hook either. Why? Because although their universe is separate, their TV universe is completely separate from the DC movies, from the DCEU. But my biggest complaint with the DCEU and the DC TV is that up until very recently, if a movie wanted to use a specific character minus Flash, that he is the only exception, then that means if that character was on the TV side of DC TV, that character will have to be taken off. That was my biggest complaint with the DC TV being disconnected with the DCEU. So should we have a disconnected universe where the universes are separate, or should we have an all-connected universe? So let's state the pros and cons for both. So for the pros, for the connected universe, it's possible, although very unlikely, but it's very, very possible that characters like Iron Man, Captain America, and come into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Think about this, yeah. Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, Steve Rogers as Captain America on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Daredevil or Jessica Jones or any of the other Marvel Netflix or Marvel TV shows. Think about that. That is a pro. That is definitely a pro. But the con side of that is that that's not going to happen. Why? Because budget. They're not going to be able to afford these actors to appear on TV. But one of the biggest pros about the all-connected universe is that it's all connected. It's one giant universe. It's just so unbelievable to think about that. And we could potentially be getting that in Avengers Infinity War. Either the first movie, Avengers Infinity War, or the second movie, Avengers 4. If anything, it's most likely to happen in Avengers 4, where the Marvel Netflix, the Defenders, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where they cross over into the movies and communicate with the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, etc. I'm not gonna lie, that is what I want to see in the MCU. I want to see all these characters. Maybe not every single character from the TV division. No, that is obviously too much. So now we move on to the pros and cons of the DC TV side of things, in which the DC TV is not connected in any way, shape or form to the DCEU, to the DC Cinematic Universe. So what are the pros? The pros is that whatever the DCEU does, whatever the DC movie does, the DC TV universe does not have to follow. They don't have to acknowledge what happened in the movies. They don't have to tell their stories based around the events of the movies. That is one of the pros that the DC TV has. But one of my biggest cons, one of my biggest complaints about the DC TV, like I said towards the beginning of this video, is that if the DCEU, if the DC movies want a specific character, and that means the DC TV side of things, the DC TV shows, they're not allowed to use that character, minus Flash and now recently Superman. Those are the only two exceptions. But say for example, if they wanted to use Batman, although I think Batman now is a possibility of showing up on the DC TV side of things because of Superman, but before, nah, if you were to tell me that Batman was coming to the DC TV, I would be laughing in your face like, that is definitely not happening. But now there's a small possibility. It's still very unlikely, but there's still that small possibility because Superman is now coming to Supergirl. But yeah, let me conclude by stating which one I prefer at the moment, which format I prefer at the moment, whether it's the connected universe or the disconnected universe. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I prefer the DC TV disconnected universe better. Marvel Netflix has a much better quality than the DC TV. I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, just my frustration with the fact that they say it's all connected, but yet Marvel are reluctant to allow the TV people to cross over into the movies. Here's a big but though. If, and only if, in Avengers Infinity War or the untitled Avengers movie, Avengers 4, if in any of those movies, the TV side, the Defenders, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if they make their way into the movies, in one of those two movies, then I would say I prefer the Marvel format better than the DC format. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? What do you like about Marvel's format where everything's all connected? What don't you like about it? And what do you like about DC's format where everything's all disconnected, and what don't you like? Share your thoughts down below in the comments. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Share this video with your friends, like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later for more videos.